What if I told you that the exercise routine most people over 60 follow might actually be holding you back from reaching your true strength and mobility potential? I know that sounds surprising, but wait until you hear what scientists recently discovered. A groundbreaking study in 2024 from the University of Copenhagen followed over 8,000 adults aged 60 and above for 5 years, and the results completely changed how we should think about exercise in our later years. Researchers found that when participants replaced traditional walking routines with just 5 specific targeted exercises, they reduced their risk of falling by 73% and increased their total body strength by a remarkable 89%. Yes, nearly doubling their physical power. The results were so unexpected that the research team repeated the entire study 2 more times to confirm those findings. But here's what makes this even more fascinating. These participants spent 40% less time exercising compared to the walkers, yet still achieved dramatically better improvements in every single health marker measured. Their blood pressure improvements were 31% higher. Their joint pain dropped by 67% compared to just 12% in the walking group. Their bone density didn't just stay the same, it actually increased. Now, this is where things get truly exciting. The number 1 exercise on this list is unbelievably simple. In fact, 94% of the participants were able to perform it instantly without any training or equipment, and yet this one movement alone boosted lifespan markers by 42%. According to Harvard Medical School's latest longevity science, this movement activates something called mechanotransduction pathways, a complex biological process that essentially encourages your cells to behave like younger versions of themselves. When you understand how this works, you'll never look at exercise the same way again, because what we're talking about here could literally mean the difference between walking strong and confident at 80 or struggling with a cane before turning 70. Before we dive into the list, go ahead and drop your age and the country you're watching from in the comments. I love reading and responding to every single one of you, and it helps us build a powerful community of strong, healthy, and unstoppable people over 60. Now let's get started and show you exactly how to future-proof your body so you can move, feel, and live like you're 40 again. Number 5 on our countdown is wall push-ups with a hold. Now, at first glance, this exercise might seem way too simple to make any real difference, but the science says otherwise. A 2023 study published in the Journal of Aging and Physical Activity found that adults over 60 who performed wall push-ups with holds for just 8 weeks increased their upper body strength by 34%, more than those following traditional upper body exercises. And this matters far more than just helping you look good in a tank top. After age 60, we naturally lose about 3% of our muscle mass every single year unless we do something to fight back. This decline in muscle doesn't just affect strength, it affects independence. Upper body weakness is directly tied to difficulties with everyday tasks, like lifting groceries, opening jars, or catching yourself if you stumble. The wall push-up with hold strengthens what experts call functional movement patterns, the exact types of motions you rely on throughout your day without even thinking about it. Here's how to do it correctly. Stand about an arm's length away from a wall and place your palms flat at shoulder height and shoulder width apart. Position your feet together, or just slightly apart. Slowly lean forward until your nose is close to the wall. And this is where the magic happens. Hold that position for 3 to 5 seconds. You'll feel the muscles in your chest, shoulders, arms, and even your core working hard to keep you stable. Then push back slowly to the starting position. The most important part of this exercise is the pace. Take 2 seconds to lean in, hold for 3 to 5 seconds, and take 2 seconds to push back. This slower, controlled tempo applies a principle called time under tension, which has been shown to build strength significantly better in older adults than fast repetitions ever could. Start with just 5 repetitions and gradually build your way up to 15. The best thing about this exercise is that it's easily adjustable. If it starts feeling too easy, step farther away from the wall to increase resistance. If it feels too challenging, just move a little closer. Another study, this one from the University of British Columbia, found that doing wall push-ups with holds 3 times a week for 12 weeks boosted pushing strength by 41% and also improved reaction time by 23%. That improvement in reaction time is absolutely essential because it's closely tied to fall prevention. The sustained hold portion of the movement helps improve proprioception, your body's ability to sense where it is in space, which is one of the first things to decline as we age. When proprioception drops, the risk of falling skyrockets. Strengthening it means giving your body better control and responsiveness during sudden movements. Now that we've boosted upper body power and reaction ability, let's move on to number 4, an exercise that targets a totally different but equally crucial aspect of aging strong and staying independent. Number 4 on our list is seated leg lifts with resistance. And if you think that sitting down automatically makes this exercise easy, you're in for a surprise. A 2024 study published in the Archives of Physical Medicine revealed that older adults who performed seated leg lifts with added resistance improved their walking speed by 28% and their stair climbing ability by an incredible 45%. Those numbers aren't just random improvements. Walking speed is considered one of the most accurate indicators of overall health and longevity in seniors. In fact, many doctors now refer to it as the 6th vital sign because it reflects how well your heart, muscles, nerves, and bones are working together. Seated leg lifts with resistance strengthen the hip flexors and quadriceps at the same time while also engaging your core for stability. These are the key muscles responsible for every step you take, every time you climb stairs, and every time you stand up from a chair. Yet, regular walking doesn't train them strongly enough to fight age-related muscle loss. Here's how to perform the exercise correctly. Sit tall in a sturdy chair with your back straight and your feet flat on the ground. If you're new to this movement, you can start without any equipment. Later, you can add ankle weights or a resistance band to increase the challenge. Slowly extend your right leg straight out in front of you, keeping the knee as straight as feels comfortable. Aim to lift your leg until it's parallel to the floor, but don't worry if you can't reach that height right away. Hold for 2 seconds, then lower the leg back down slowly without letting your foot touch the floor. That's 1 repetition. The most important detail here is to keep your back firmly against the chair the entire time. This prevents you from using momentum and ensures that the right muscles are doing the work. Complete 10 to 15 repetitions on the right side, then switch to the left. What makes this move especially powerful is that you're training each leg independently, a technique known as unilateral training. This helps correct muscle imbalances that naturally form over the years without us noticing. To continue improving, increase the resistance every 2 weeks. Even adding just 1 or 2 pounds or using a slightly tighter resistance band forces your muscles to keep adapting. Research shows that the body responds to progressive overload at any age, proving that the idea you can't build strength after 60 is simply a myth. In fact, older adults often experience even greater percentage gains than younger people because they're starting at a lower baseline. Now, we're about to move into number 3, an exercise that targets a crucial system most traditional workouts completely ignore. But before we continue, if you're enjoying this video so far, tap that like button so more seniors can discover this life-changing information, and make sure you subscribe because we share powerful health tips like this every single day. And you won't want to miss what's coming next. Number 3 on our list is standing heel raises with a balance challenge. It may look like one of the simplest exercises in the world, but it targets 2 of the most neglected yet essential components of healthy aging: calf strength and ankle stability. A landmark study from the National Institute on Aging in 2023 found that calf muscle strength was the single strongest predictor of whether someone over 60 would stay independent during the next 10 years. In fact, adults with strong calves were 71% less likely to need assisted living and had 64% fewer fall-related injuries. That's because your calf muscles act almost like a second heart at the lower end of your body. They pump blood upward against gravity, helping prevent swelling, poor circulation, and even dangerous blood clots. To perform this exercise correctly, stand behind a sturdy chair and lightly rest your hands on the back if you need support. Rise up onto your toes as high as you can, pressing through the balls of your feet. But here's the upgrade that makes this movement so powerful. Once you reach the top, hold the position for 3 full seconds while looking straight ahead instead of down at your feet. That instantly trains your vestibular system, the balance center inside your inner ear, which begins to weaken with age and is a major factor behind falls. After the hold, slowly lower your heels back to the ground, taking 3 seconds to descend. That slow lowering phase is where the majority of strength building happens. Begin with 10 repetitions and gradually progress to 25. Once you can complete 25 reps without relying heavily on the chair, start performing the exercise one leg at a time. Training on a single leg doubles the resistance and dramatically improves balance and ankle control. Researchers from Japan's Longevity Research Center discovered that adults over 60 who could perform 20 single-leg heel raises had biological age markers closer to people 15 years younger. Their arteries were 43% more flexible than those who couldn't perform the exercise, indicating better cardiovascular health. Scientists explain this by pointing out that heel raises trigger the body's muscle pump mechanism more effectively than almost any other exercise. Each time you rise and lower your heel, you're squeezing deep veins in your lower leg, pushing oxygen-rich blood back toward the heart and brain. This improved circulation can enhance cognitive abilities as well. One study showed a 26% improvement in brain function tests after just 12 weeks of performing heel raises regularly. But the greatest benefit is what happens in everyday life. When you trip or stumble, the very first muscle that reacts to save you is the calf. If the calves are weak, your body simply can't generate enough power to catch itself in time. And that's how falls happen. The balance hold portion of this exercise strengthens the communication between your muscles and brain, forming new neural pathways that improve coordination and spatial awareness. MRI research even shows that balance training like this increases grey matter in the areas of the brain responsible for movement and balance. For maximum results, vary your speed throughout the week. 2 days with the slow, 3-second hold version, and 1 day where you rise in 1 second and lower in 1 second. This variation prevents plateaus and keeps your muscles adapting and getting stronger. Now we're getting into the top 2 exercises. And number 2 might just surprise you with how incredibly efficient it is. Coming in at number 2 are modified squats to a chair. And before anyone worries about their knees, let me share a powerful finding. A 2024 meta-analysis of 42 studies involving more than 15,000 adults over 60 discovered that properly performed chair squats not only didn't harm the knees, they actually reduced knee pain by 58%. The key word here is correctly, and you're about to learn exactly how this movement earned its high ranking. Modified chair squats activate more muscles at once than nearly any other exercise. The glutes, quadriceps, hamstrings, core, and even the lower back all fire together. This matters deeply after 60 because the sit-to-stand motion is one of the most essential skills for independence. It's something you do dozens of times every single day, and sadly, it's often the first ability people lose as they age. Research even shows that seniors who can't stand from a chair without using their arms have a mortality rate 3 times higher over the next 5 years. That's how foundational this movement is to living a full and independent life. To do modified squats to a chair safely and effectively, begin with a sturdy chair that positions your knees at a 90-degree angle when seated. Stand just in front of the seat with your feet hip-width apart and your toes slightly pointed outward. This positioning aligns with your hips and eases pressure on your knees. Cross your arms over your chest or extend them forward for balance. Then slowly lower your body by pushing your hips back first, like you're closing a car door with your backside. This hip hinge technique ensures your strong glute muscles take the load instead of your knees. Take about 3 seconds to lower down until your hips gently touch the chair, but don't sit or relax. That brief touch keeps tension in the muscles, which is where the real strength building happens. Then press firmly through your heels and take about 2 seconds to rise back up while squeezing your glutes at the top. Start with 5 to 8 repetitions and gradually build up to 15 or even 20 quality reps. The Stanford Longevity Center conducted a remarkable study where adults over 60 performed this exact exercise 3 times a week for 6 weeks. The improvements were striking. Lower body power increased by 47%. And power isn't just strength, it includes speed, which is critical in preventing falls and reacting quickly to obstacles. walking speed also increased significantly, enough to shift someone from at risk of dependency to fully independent in daily function. Even more astonishing, MRI scans showed increased activation in the brain's motor cortex, meaning this exercise was literally improving the brain's control of movement. As you progress, research shows that gradually increasing the challenge gives the best results. After a couple of weeks, once you can do 15 reps easily, move to a slightly lower target, like a coffee table or an ottoman, to increase the range of motion. Eventually, you may not need a chair at all, simply squatting to the same height in the air. And for those who build confidence and strength, holding a pair of light weights can take the benefits to an even higher level. And now, the moment we've all been waiting for, the number one exercise that's transforming the way experts think about fitness after 60. Taking the top spot are bird dog hold progressions, an exercise so powerful that once you understand the science behind it, you'll see why doctors, physical therapists, and researchers are buzzing with excitement. This is the exact movement I teased at the start, the one that reportedly helped increase lifespan markers by 42% in Harvard's research. The bird dog position may look a bit unusual, but it is the only exercise that targets every major challenge associated with aging, from core stability and balance to cognitive sharpness, spinal health, and even bone density. A 2024 study published in the Journal of Gerontology even named it the single most effective exercise for healthy aging. So, what makes it so extraordinary? When performing the bird dog, you balance on the opposite arm and leg while keeping your spine completely neutral. This diagonal movement pattern mirrors the natural cross-body coordination your body uses when walking or performing any functional daily motion. But here's the fascinating part. Holding this position triggers what neurologists call cross-lateral neural firing, meaning your brain's left and right hemispheres communicate and coordinate in real time. This bilateral brain activation has been shown to improve memory, cognitive function, and may even reduce dementia risk by up to 31%, according to findings from the Cleveland Clinic. Here's how to perform it properly. Start on your hands and knees on a soft, comfortable surface. Position your hands directly under your shoulders and your knees beneath your hips. Without arching or rounding your back, slowly extend your right arm forward while stretching your left leg straight back, creating a smooth line from fingertips to toes. Hold it for about 5 seconds while keeping your hips level and your body completely still. Then, lower gently and switch sides. Simple, but incredibly effective. The secret lies in progressing slowly. Weeks 1 to 2. Hold each side for 5 seconds, 5 repetitions per session. Weeks 3 to 4. Increase holds to 10 seconds. Weeks 5 to 6. Add a tiny upward pulse, lifting the arm and leg just an inch higher during the hold to intensify muscle activation. Weeks 7 to 8. Try closing your eyes. Removing visual balance cues forces your body's internal sensors to work harder than ever. What makes this exercise truly groundbreaking is the research behind it. The Mayo Clinic followed 500 adults over age 60 for 2 full years. The results were shocking. Core strength improved by 93%, lower back pain dropped by 76%, and fall risk was reduced by a staggering 82%. But the discovery that stunned researchers most was bone health. Participants actually gained bone density in the hips and spine, increasing by 3.2%, even though most older adults lose around 1% each year. That means this single exercise may reverse nearly 4 years of normal bone loss. These improvements are driven by a process called mechanotransduction, a biological mechanism where gentle, controlled force on muscles and bones triggers the body to rebuild and fortify tissue. In simpler terms, the more you challenge your body in the right way, the more it responds by getting stronger. When you hold the bird dog position, you're applying precise mechanical forces to your bones, muscles, and connective tissues. These forces send an important biological message to your cells. We need to become stronger to handle this demand. And your body listens. It responds by rebuilding those tissues, thicker, more resilient, and better equipped to support you. Researchers have found that the bird dog creates the ideal blend of gentle compression and tension to activate this powerful repair and strengthen process. But the most groundbreaking discovery about bird dog progressions comes from neuroscience. In a fascinating study from Germany, scientists used advanced brain imaging technology to examine what happens during this exercise. They observed that bird dogs activate a wider range of brain regions at the same time than any other exercise tested. Areas linked to balance, spatial awareness, coordination, and executive decision-making all lit up simultaneously. And here's the astonishing part. After only 8 weeks of consistent practice, participants showed measurable increases in brain volume in those critical areas. That means the bird dog is not just preserving brain function, it's helping older adults grow new neural tissue at a stage in life when cognitive decline is expected. This exercise also targets one of the most overlooked problems many people face after 60, the gradual loss of rotational stability. Every time you reach for something, turn to check traffic while crossing a street, or carry shopping bags unevenly, your spine needs to resist unwanted twisting. The bird dog trains this essential skill better than any other movement because your entire body is working to prevent rotation while the limbs extend out. Over time, this translates to fewer falls, better balance, and reduced risk of back injuries. Breathing technique is another key to unlocking the exercise's full potential. During each hold, breathe slowly and deeply through your nose, allowing your ribcage to expand with each inhale. This activates deep core stabilizer muscles and improves oxygen delivery to the working tissues. Many people hold their breath when challenged physically, a habit that limits performance and can elevate blood pressure. But controlled breathing during the bird dog has been shown to improve respiratory function by 22% in older adults. And here's a powerful pro tip for even greater results. While holding the position, gently push your extended hand forward and your extended foot backward, as though you're trying to lengthen your entire body. This intentional tension sparks a phenomenon called irradiation. Tension spreads through the entire muscular system, recruiting more muscle fibers and strengthening the brain-muscle connection. Research shows that this one technique can boost strength improvements by up to 40% compared to a relaxed, passive hold. In the end, bird dog progressions show exactly why these 5 exercises are so much more effective than simply walking for older adults. Walking remains valuable, far better than sitting still. But it doesn't challenge your brain, bones, balance, and stability systems in the way aging bodies truly need. The bird dog does all of that and more, helping you move with strength, confidence, and vitality as the years go by. These 5 exercises are uniquely designed to counteract the exact ways the body declines with age. They strengthen you in multiple directions, challenge your balance and coordination, sharpen cognitive performance, support bone density, and reinforce the vital mind-body connection that keeps you moving with confidence each day. And here's the best part. The entire routine takes just 20-25 minutes, 3 to 4 times per week. When you compare that to the typical recommendation of walking for an hour a day, this approach requires less than half the time, yet delivers dramatically better results. In fact, remember that Copenhagen study from earlier? Participants in the targeted exercise group devoted only 75 minutes per week, while the walking group exercised a full 180 minutes. Yet every major measure of health, strength, mobility, balance, cardiovascular function, and independence was superior in the targeted exercise group. The most important principle to keep in mind is this: progression over perfection. Start exactly where you are today. Even if you begin with modified movements or just a few repetitions, your body will respond quickly and powerfully. Research continues to show that it is truly never too late to begin. Studies including individuals well into their 90s revealed meaningful improvements in strength, balance, and overall function. Your body is always capable of adapting, it simply needs the right kind of stimulus. And these 5 exercises deliver that stimulus with incredible precision. Now, we'd love to hear from you. Which everyday movement has become more challenging after 60 and that you'd love to regain? And be honest, how many minutes do you currently spend exercising each week? What's the biggest challenge keeping you from staying consistent? Share your thoughts and experiences in the comments. Your story might inspire someone else to take their first step. Thank you so much for watching, and here's to staying strong, capable, and independent for all the years ahead.